So guys, we've arrived at the last M.C.U movie of 2023, but one of the least anticipated, The Marvels. This was a film that was gonna be crossing over aspects from the movies and the Disney Plus shows that I haven't reviewed yet, but I have watched. But so I'm not gonna lie, I went into this not expecting much. I was honestly expecting it to be one of the most forgettable and unmemorable MCU movies, especially since the marketing made it look like it was just gonna be one of those films that maybe should have been another TV show. Not to mention the fact that Captain Marvel is one of the lesser MCU movies, and so a lot of that was indicated into this being another MCU property being panned. But then I heard that audiences were actually liking it fine. No, it wasn't anything amazing, but some were saying it was a very simple and fun time. And having seen it myself, I can say I think the exact same way. This is a very simple, small scale movie that actually does have a lot going on, but still feels very small compared to other MCU projects. Despite what actually happened in the film, I honestly enjoyed this. No, it's not great by any means, and it has some dumb and kind of cringy stuff in it, but I did actually like this more than Captain Marvel, and I thought it was more likable. Something that I've been helped with that is that I have watched the Disney Plus Marvel shows, and even though I haven't reviewed them yet, seeing them definitely helped because the film obviously relies on them a lot. I feel like this film was just one of those small MCU movies that was short and fun enough to pass the time. But yeah, something like that did leave a lot of problems too, like some dumb stuff too, like I mentioned. But we'll go over that in a moment. For now, let's talk about the plot, and like always, we'll have no spoilers for the first part, and then we'll go over all the spoilers after a warning. So, what's the story? In space, Harold discovers a new power, but when she gets too close to it, she discovers that her, Monica, and Kamala Khan, played by Iman Vellani, with powers when they use their powers, and now they need to team up after a new villain decides to go after them. That's really the best I can do without spoilers, but there's actually not that much to spoil in this anyway. So this is sort of a weird situation of a film where, based on the plot and what we've actually seen in the trailers, and I guess also just with how the MCU has been going lately, it kind of felt like this was gonna be a smaller movie just by having big aspects to it, and that's actually the vibe I got from watching this. I feel like that could be because the film incorporates aspects from the Disney Plus shows that are usually smaller scales. So, like always, I'll go over the negatives and then the positives and from what I saw personally. So, as far as what I didn't like, and this is something I noticed in all the MCU movies this year, but the opening felt pretty rushed, and I felt like it was trying to get into the main plot really quickly. But I think I noticed it more here because the pacing scene in the opening was really all over the place because it just starts with the introduction of the main villain in the first scene, and then we see them get right into action pretty quickly with seeing where Harold, Monica, and Kamala are. The effects also didn't look amazing here. A lot were, but there were some moments where it looked kind of weird, especially one scene in particular where we see a spaceship come into view and it looks really weird. The villain is also super forgettable and not memorable or interesting and had a lot of fairly generic villain going on. Plus, with the whole jumping around to different perspectives a lot, it also makes some of the editing moments feel out of place and kind of messy. Plus, in general, it does feel like a mess with how the story is being told. Just different aspects about it feel kind of out of place and underdeveloped and not explored that well, and it doesn't always flow as a proper narrative. A big part of that is also the fact that this is now the shortest M.C.U. movie ever, and while that does sort of help make the film not overstay welcome, it can also lead to a lack of a proper flow or development, like I mentioned. And again, there are some moments that were maybe supposed to be kind of stupid, but there was one moment in particular that just really didn't work for me, and that led to that whole section of the film being kind of pointless, despite how it does have a point later on. So yeah, a lot of that I imagine would be stuff that would throw a lot of people off from the film, not to mention the fact that the film is already pretty much underperforming financially. But with all that being said, I definitely saw some enjoyable aspects in the end, and enough for me to say that I was happy enough leaving the theater. For starters, most of the performances are really good, some weren't, and some were really forgettable, but most of them were. There's also some cool aspects in this and some cool ideas in this that I like how it answers some questions that were previously established in other properties like Miss Marvel, and we got to see them. Speaking of, the Miss Marvel show was one of the more uniquely edited in the M.C.U, and this continues that. Sure, like I said, some of the editing didn't work out very well, but there were some uses of really unique editing techniques, and I enjoyed it when they did some really unique stuff like that. I also enjoyed the overall sense of adventure in the movie. I like following Harold, Monica, and Kamala through this. I will say, usually I love having characters interact and cross over for the first time in the M.C.U, but here I will admit, while it was cool at times to see that happen, some of it did also feel like kind of forced and not natural, but overall the three of them did have a fun dynamic, and I enjoyed them together. I also enjoyed other interactions too, like all of them and Nick along with Kamala's family, and there is a fair amount of fun moments in this, in my opinion. One scene in particular where everyone is having to get off a spaceship, that scene was pretty cool and had some creative ideas. And honestly, in general, despite a lot of the bad elements and dumb moments, I just felt like this film had a very likable feel to it that made me really enjoy it. Whether or not I can say that makes the movie good is kind of hard to say, but I do believe that I really enjoyed the film nonetheless, and I am really happy that I saw it. Plus, there are some specific things about it that make me really excited, and that I'm really looking forward to talking about him before we're set. And so I'll just wrap this part of the review up. Overall, I'm not entirely sure if I can say this film is good in general, despite the fact that I did really enjoy it myself personally, and I do want to see it again. So I would say, hate what I've said and decide if this is something you'd be interested in. I personally would really like to see it again, and I would recommend it if you're the least bit curious. And so everyone, those are my thoughts on the Marvels. Thank you all for watching, and please comment down below to tell me what you think. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the spoilers. If you don't want anything spoiled, go watch the movie, then come back and watch the rest of this. So there's not really that a whole lot of stuff to talk about in terms of spoilers, since again the film was pretty short and it didn't leave that many surprises, but there's still a lot to dissect anyway. For one, the film really does just sort of give off the story pretty quickly, because the first scene is literally just showing the villain getting the second banjo and immediately talking to Harold, Monica, and Kamala as Harold and Monica come in contact with that young point that caused all of them to have their powers connected, and then we start getting a lot of different information, like how the villain had been trying to make some promise with the Rose, and we see Harold, Monica, and Kamala try to help the planet full of Rose and not being able to protect everyone. That part was pretty cool, though something I found kind of weird was afterwards when we see that Nick brought Kamala's family with him on the shield carrier in space. I know it would probably because since Kamala was involved, he wanted her family to be safe, but it was still odd, and I don't think it made a lot of sense. Anyway, after that, we then see that the villain is doing this to try to restore life to the free planet, and so she's trying to take different things from other planets to restore it. This is kind of what I meant, because even though we clearly see what the villain is doing and why, it still doesn't really show the villain off herself that much as having much of a character herself. Killmonger, I think, is a perfect example of having an understandable motivation, and we see what he's doing and why, but he's still his own character, and we see him act like a character no matter what he does, and that aspect just was in the parents in this character. This then leads to Harold, Monica, and Kamala properly working together and pushing together that the villain is trying to get Kamala's banjo. The film then does try to have some nice moments, like when Harold and Monica try to show how why Harold never came back, and we see it was because Harold destroyed the Supreme Intelligence on the free planet, and that's why the planet is dying and why the villain is trying to restore it back to normal. I'm not entirely sure if I can say all that succeeded in being a great character motivation or a great character moment between all the characters, but I appreciate they tried to have moments like that, especially since we see that since we've seen that whole thing be set up since Captain Marvel. Though probably the worst moment in the film was when they had to go to that singing planet and they all had to to communicate with the people there. I know the M.C.U. movie have had weird moments like that for comedy before, but this just didn't work. It actually since they're able to speak normally to one of the people, the only person they need to talk to anyway, and so it made that moment feel kind of even more cringy. I guess it just didn't necessarily last very long, so that was good, but still, that then led to the Flight Humble Planet, and that was pretty cool with Harold, Monica, and Kamala having a split positions over and over, and so it was cool that we got a whole like spaceship flight reminding, and yeah, that whole thing reminded me a lot of Star Wars, so that was pretty cool. And then the thing I mentioned before that I thought was really cool was when they went back to Fury and the others and realized that the ship was about to explode and they didn't have enough escape pods, and so they realized that you had baby things, and so they used them to just eat everyone and have everyone escape pods that way, so it'll take up less room. That actually was pretty funny and did seem kind of creative. Then as the final fight comes along, this is actually where I feel like the movie was missing any real it's a little hard to explain, but when I kept talking about how the film was really small scale and didn't feel like there was that much to it because of that, it made the finale feel kind of hollow because we have this huge deal going on because of how the rest of the movie was setting up, because the villain is trying to steal the sun and take it away, but because of how it was being done and because of how the rest of the movie was feeling up until that point, it didn't feel like it was a big deal despite the fact that it was technically a huge deal given the circumstances. I also found it kind of cliche when the villain was acting like she was willing to cooperate only to try to kill them again, and that led to her death, even if it did look kind of cool. And then that led to like the really big thing where Monica is having to absorb all the energy, so much of the energy from Harold and Kamala, and so she has to jump into the jump point to try to close it, and that causes her to disappear. And yeah, then we get a nice ending with Harold and Kamala bonding more. That was a nice ending, I guess, but the main thing I want to talk about is the real ending, because we got some scenes that made me really, really happy and really excited. The first scene when we see Kamala go to visit Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye show played by Haley Stein, that was really exciting. And then yeah, when I saw what she was trying to do, it just made me really excited. And I like how it kind of does it in the same way that Nick tried to recruit Tony in the first Iron Man movie, and so that was really exciting. And I heard that this was leading to a Young Avengers project, and with them and also with Cassie from Ant-Man, and so that was really cool. But then we get the mid-credit scene where we see Monica is in some other dimension, and we actually get to see that she's in the X-Men mansion with B. That was so incredible to see. We finally get to see the X-Men in the M.C.U. and we actually get to see Kelsey Grammer back as playing B again, and so that was really exciting. And especially since Deadpool 3 is technically the next M.C.U. movie to come out, and so that paves the way for a lot of incredible opportunities. And I can't wait to see. Yeah, I can't wait to see more, and I'm really excited for Deadpool 3 next year. Overall, this engine made me really excited for the upcoming project. So overall, guys, I just found this to be a really likable and harmless movie. Sure, it does lead to a lot of problems, like not feeling anything special and not feeling like a properly structured story. But for what it is, I really like this, and I really do think that it could be one of the most underrated M.C.U. projects ever, in my opinion. I was just really happy and fairly satisfied after leaving the theater from this, and I honestly am really happy with what we got. I was honestly expecting nothing out of the movie and so on, so it was nice that I found a fair amount of enjoyment in it, and I personally would be happy to see it again. So whether or not I can say that would intrigue a lot of people enough to want to go see it is hard to say, but I personally would say that I think you should give the movie a chance. And so, yeah, everyone, those are my thoughts on the Marvels. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all liked this video. If you did, then please like this video. Please comment down below, tell me what you think. Please follow me on Twitter, where I do Kingdom Hearts and Disney Please every day. And if you know someone who might like my content, then please help share my videos in any way you can help my channel grow. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.